Hello people! It has been exactly 1 year since I uploaded my first video to this channel. 1 year ago I'd completed 27 demons, now I've completed 66. And in this video I'm going to be ranking my completed demons again. One thing is I won't be ranking the 12 map pack demons I've completed, because they'd all rank at the bottom anyways, and I just don't really have that much to say about them. They're just kind of shitty old levels. So I'm going to be ranking the remaining 54 demons I've done today. It's going to be a long video. And also, this is exactly double 27, and yes, I did that on purpose. Also, I'm not doing Tendo in this video because I already started scripting before, and I just did a video on that, so alright, let's get started. At number 54, I have Discovery by A145. The main reason this level is at the bottom is because it's horribly balanced. The wave and the ship in the beginning are like medium demon difficulty, and the rest is like a 6-star. The deco is very inconsistent. The glow theme is at the beginning, and it's like modern at the end, and it just doesn't feel like it fits together. I do like the ending effects though, I think they're pretty cool. It has a good song, but it uses like the worst part of it, if I'm being honest. So yeah, it's just kind of like a not that great level. I don't really recommend it. At number 53, I have Mega Solo by Surprise. So I beat this a long time ago on mobile. I think the gameplay and deco are pretty inconsistent. It's supposed to be kind of like emulating a Mega collab, but a solo project, and it just doesn't fit together at all. The spider part isn't bad. I was kind of biased back then because I was not great at spider, but that's one spam part at 73 still sucks. And apart from everything else, like, my opinions haven't changed much of this level, but I did put it above Discovery since it's better balanced. At number 52, I have Freedom by Mr. PPS. I learned that's how you pronounce that person's name. This level is very all over the place, and it's a mega collab, like an early mega collab, so that kind of makes sense. It didn't really seem like there was an established theme for the creators to follow, and so like they all did their own thing and then just slapped it together into one level. And it's also quite unbalanced. The first wave and 50 to 55 were major choke points for me, and then 55 to the end is free. I didn't die at all past there, and the coins are also free. It just doesn't really feel like a good level to me. At number 51, I have Fractured Circles by Artemiel. I'd say the beginning of this level is super annoying. It was like hard for me to learn. I actually thought it was impossible the first time I practiced it, because I hadn't really ever played the whole like holding to avoid orbs kind of gameplay. In general, the gameplay doesn't feel satisfying to pull off, and some spam parts are annoying, especially for a medium demon, because this is a pretty like entry level medium demon 9 circles level. I don't like the ending spikes again. I talked about that in the last video. I'm not gonna like go into it this time. And the song is pretty bland. It's not very memorable. At number 50, I put Problematic by Daffin. I've already done a video on this, so I'm not going to say too much, but basically the beginning is way too hard for an easy demon. And there's also that one annoying click out of the duel at 56 that just like ruins the entire wave part for me. And overall, I just hope I have to never play this level again, and the song's kind of mid. At number 49, I have Club Step. I would say that this level grew on me since the last ranking. The ship gameplay, it is hard, but it's fun, and I think I was biased back then because I did finish this on mobile, and ship is a lot harder on mobile. The first ship is kind of janky, I'm not gonna lie. I have played Club Step a lot more since I beat it. And also, like, the infamous UFO at 50 or wherever that is, it really is not that hard. People kind of overhype that, I think, but I am pretty good at UFO, so I could be biased. I still don't really like the deco. It's like decent for 1.6, I guess. The song is really good. Club Step is a banger. At number 48, I have TOE3 by Manic648. This level also kind of grew on me a little bit, but I still don't really like it that much. I will say the deco is kind of good. Might be a little bit of a hot take, but the theming is really good. There's some unique gameplay in there, like the spider with the slopes, even though it is kind of buggy. I enjoyed that gameplay. So when I beat this, I was going for all 3 coins, which is kind of stupid in retrospect. And going for those, especially the first coin, really did skew my perception of this level and made it a lot more inconsistent. And I would say that it's more consistent if you don't try to get the coins, but it is still unbalanced. The ship at 70 is a lot harder than the rest. And I think this is like good for a casual completion if your hardest is Acropolis or something around there, but not really as a new hardest like I did. At number 47, I have Horizon by Mylon. I still don't like this level, I'm sorry. I don't like the gameplay, but I will say that it does look amazing for the time. Even though the parts don't really come together, they all look good. The first UFO is super janky. You can just die to like thin air. And the robot in the middle, for me, it was a lot harder compared to the rest. And the boss fight is super annoying to learn. There aren't a lot of like indicators or anything, so you just kind of have to go off muscle memory. It is kind of like overrated, this level, in my opinion. At number 46, I have Speed Racer by Zenthic Alpha. I kind of forgot about this level, I'm gonna be honest. The gameplay is decently fun and there aren't really any choke points in there to speak of. It's one of those rare early 1.9 levels to not use the wave. I actually thought it was a 1.8 level at first when I beat it because I didn't know that custom music wasn't there until 1.9. The speed changes are kind of hard to navigate for a beginner, but they're fun once you know what to do. Also, fun fact, this is the only demon I haven't beaten in one go. I took a call from my friend in the middle of my winning attempt, and then once I was done, I went back to that attempt and beat it. And then I just rebeat it later to get a recording. At number 45, I have Unite by some random cow. This level feels like some generic, like, epic rated 6-star that was buffed to be a demon. There's these, like, super long single game mode parts that are, like, really samey throughout and don't really have any unique gameplay elements. The wave and the ending aren't very sight readable, and the song is kind of mid, sorry, and the theming is kind of mid, sorry. Yeah, I just didn't really enjoy it that much, even though it's really easy. At number 44, I have Hate by Zats, and the reason I put it this low, I mean, just look at it. It's pretty self-explanatory. The gameplay is pretty inconsistent and buggy, and there's just that one wave from 58 to 65 that's way harder than the rest of the level. But redeeming qualities, I do like the circle part. It's pretty unique and it's not too hard to read. And the deco, you know, if it weren't for all the glow, it does still look pretty good. At number 43, I have Flora by this guy, who I don't know who it is, but apparently the community hates him for whatever reason. This level is super long, but it is somewhat unbalanced. The beginning is like 4-star difficulty with a few medium demon timings thrown in, which is super annoying. There's some structures that are hard to read throughout the level. There's this like leafy part at 64 to 71 that's really annoying to learn. There's a lot of buffer timings in there and it's just hard to know what to do. But the robot part at 71 to the end, I did like that, it was fun. There's some unique orb gameplay in the pillar part from 35 to 45, that was probably my favorite part of the level. But overall it's like pretty repetitive, which is bad for an XL. At number 42, I have Mountain King by Funny Game. I'm sure you guys all know how I feel about this level because of the one video that has 50k views on my channel. So basically it's very unbalanced and the dual ship sucks and is a major choke point. And it's really annoying to like keep going through the beginning since the beginning is really easy and then just like dying at 45. The song is also super quiet in the beginning, so you can't really hear, and then it just suddenly gets loud once you get to the drop. But it does have pretty good theming, so I'm not gonna, you know, be too harsh on it, and the song/piece is also pretty good. At number 41, I have Meow by Blow My Poo. This is a little cutesy modern level. The gameplay is relatively fun, but it is kind of unbalanced since the wave parts are pretty tight compared to the rest, and just hard for an easy demon in general. The backgrounds make it hard to see, and they're not really distinguished from foregrounds, so it's just not the best level to look at. It is a fun, casual completion overall, and it's like relatively old, so it was done pretty well for the time. At number 40, I have A Factory by Maxieland. It's another super bright level, but no epilepsy warning this time, thankfully. I don't really enjoy the size portal gameplay in the beginning, and the ship parts are hard to learn and they're kind of inconsistent, especially the dual ship parts. The boss fight is hard to read, but apart from that, the gameplay is fun overall and the deco looks pretty good. At number 39, I have Colorado by Nikes. I don't know how to say that. This is just a mid easy demon. It's pretty generic. It's, you know, a recent epic level, so you can expect that from that. There's some annoying choke points, and the 19% ball is way harder than the rest. And also that 14% ship dash orb click, which is super annoying. And it's also kind of laggy, not the best optimization in the world. And the theme is also kind of all over the place, but it does have decent deco and it's better to look at than A Factory, which is why it's ranked higher. And the duels are pretty fun to learn and they're pretty intuitive. At number 38, I have Jawbreaker by Zenthic Alpha. So I've changed my mind about this level quite a bit. I ranked it pretty high in my last video, but it's pretty low this time. I'd say the main reason is because I liked Nine Circles so much better. There's lots of inconsistent parts in this level, and the beginning is also just not that fun to play. There's lots of like spamming into tight gaps with like spikes jutting out, which 9 Circles doesn't really have, and those are super inconsistent. And there's also some like copying of 9 Circles, like the slow part at 63 is like an exact copy of the 9 Circles slow part. And there's also like some portal release timings, which are annoying in an entry hard demon, and I don't think 9 Circles really had those. I know I'm like comparing this to 9 Circles, but that's kind of what made me realize that I don't like this level as much as I thought. And also the ending, you know, the spam ending, it's basically RNG. I died there, everybody dies there. Number 37, I have Starpunk by Fur de Funky. I know people love this level, but hot take, it's mid. The gameplay felt clunky and it didn't feel that intuitive, especially in the beginning. It took me a while to learn this, and a lot of attempts for such an easy level. The orb sync part doesn't really sync sometimes, and you can't really buffer them. I did enjoy that part nonetheless. And the mirror portal part, I have to give the creator kudos because it was done very well, and I didn't even like really notice that it was mirrored at first. And the gameplay past 50 is really fun. Number 36, I have Death Moon by Caustic. Honestly, I might have been too harsh on this level in the last video. I still think it's a little bit overrated, but it looks incredible for 1.9. But I will say that the deco is kind of inconsistent. There are some parts that are super detailed, and then there are some parts that are just like basic block design. Also, I can't believe I didn't mention the ending last time, where it's just like complete emptiness for 10%, and then that like weird little ship corridor that's just super anticlimactic and not even hard. The gameplay is somewhat unbalanced, but it's still fun to play. At number 35, I have Temple of Time by Dev JT. This is obviously the level that was made as a tribute to Michigan. The gameplay captures Michigan's brand very well. It just like gives off this essence of every temple level that he's made, which is really awesome. And the deco is super cool. It looks good while keeping Michigan's theme alive. But the bad thing about this level is that the beginning is way too hard. Those first 3 triples are like basically blind timings, and those are hard triples too. And so I died there like over and over and over while I was playing, and it was super annoying. And also there's those 2 orb timings in the first ball that are just evil. Apart from that though, the desert temple part felt pretty inconsistent. I still fluked it from 0, but it was kind of annoying to learn. But aside from all that, this is a very fun and balanced level, and it's a pretty good starter hard demon if you're good with timings. At number 34, I have CSQN by Blue Skies. This is probably the biggest opinion change I'm gonna have in this video. Last time I ranked it at number 6, and now it's not even in my top 20. And the main reason for that is that it's so horribly balanced, and I didn't really touch on that last time. It kind of ruins the level for me that the ship in the middle is like medium demon difficulty and the rest is like 7 to 8 star difficulty. It kind of felt like it was supposed to be an insane level, but then the creator accidentally made the ship too hard. And the deco is also a little bit epilepsy inducing, especially when you play it in full detail, and the song is really irritating. And also the deco does kind of fall off in the end. It becomes a lot more simplistic and like not as polished. The gameplay, despite being unbalanced, it's still fun, and I'm still in love with the deco before the ship. At number 33, I have Lava Temple by Michigan. So this is one of 2 Michigan temple levels that I've beaten, and this one is really badly balanced. Timings in the first cube are low-key evil, and they're just annoying. I just died there over and over, and I was like, oh, can I just get past this? The beginning is inconsistent, and it's really not that fun to pull off, if I'm being honest. And then there's also that random, like, super hard orb timing at the end of the ball. I think why I rank this level so high, though, is that the rest of the gameplay is so much fun, especially the wave. I did fluke it from 0, but it's just a lot of fun to pull off the wave. And the deco also does look good for the time. I know a lot of people kind of shit on Michigan's levels, but I always loved his simplistic style, and I just think it looks great. At number 32, I have Play with Fire by Lily VX. This is a fun starter easy demon, and it's a great first demon for beginners, I would say, if you want to do something more modern. It's a well-balanced level, which is pretty rare for a modern starter demon. Looking at CSQN, looking at Discovery. The deco looks great. Even though it is kind of like not super unique, it looks great, and the song is a banger. The gameplay in the second half, I'd say, is a little bit hard to learn and like not play tested the best, but it's overall pretty fun. At number 31, I have Cosmic Rush by OX Nano. This is the one demon where I beat the weekly version, so I just never encountered this level again and I kind of forgot about it. But the gameplay is pretty well balanced and fun, except for that one ship part at 18 to 22 that was super inconsistent. And I also really like the deco, I love the theming in this, and the song is great. It's not like the most unique level ever, so ultimately it was kind of forgettable, but I still liked it. At number 30, I have Theory of Everything 2. So I did rank this lower than in my last video because last time I rebeat TOE2 I was just having a lot of trouble with it, and I kind of realized that the gameplay is kind of inconsistent sometimes. The 80 ship is a lot more annoying than I remember it being, and I think that's kind of the problem with this video. Like, some of these demons I've played a lot more recently than others, and some of them I only beat once when I was a lot worse at the game. But anyway, the breakable blocks ship is also pretty inconsistent, especially like the one little part going into the next cube. And the last UFO is easy to choke at. Yep, I died there when I rebeat it. But I still love the rest of the gameplay, especially the memory ball. I love that part so much. And this level is just so iconic and it has so much charm. At number 29, I have Ballin' by Shuxidian. So this is the shortest demon I've ever beaten. It's one of 2 single game mode demons that I've beaten. The gameplay is hard for a medium demon, so it kind of feels like more like a challenge than an actual level. The duels in the second half are pretty hard and annoying to learn, but once you get the hang of them, they're a lot of fun. And the gameplay is also pretty varied for only using the ball game mode. The last click, though, is pure evil, and that definitely brings the level down a couple notches. At number 28, I have Hexaforce by Osiris GD. I honestly don't know how this level ended up so high because it's kind of forgettable, but I think that it's just a good level. It's just not, like, unique. The duels in this level are a lot of fun, and they're pretty creative. It is also well balanced. I don't really remember any specific choke points, and it's a Hexagon Force remake, and it definitely keeps the essence of Hexagon Force very well while being, like, modern. But this is an easy demon now, and I will say it should be a medium demon. It's way too hard to be an easy demon, in my opinion, but I guess it is what it is. At number 27, I have Trek by Ollie SW. This is kind of a more unique level. I definitely remember it, it sticks out in my brain. It's kind of like woodsy, campy themed. It also has multiple pathways, which you don't really see nowadays. The gameplay is a bit unbalanced. It kind of feels like sometimes random things can kill you, but that could also be due to the path that I took. The theming and deco are great in this level, and the song kind of fits pretty well with the theme, and also it's got some good music sync. At number 26, I have Inside by Sabs. It's a fun, casual completion. It looks pretty generic, you know, just like a glow level, but it does look good. The duels are fun and intuitive, and they sync to the music, and it's pretty well balanced as well, but there are a couple choke points. There's that one triple at 73 that I kept dying to, and then there's like one part in the spider where you have to micro-click a black orb, and it's just like a weird timing. But also this level uses Stay Inside Me, which is the practice song. This song is like the most overhated song in existence. It's actually a banger. Even Rob Top's version is a banger, we just don't like it because we have to hear it over and over. But anyway, moving on. At number 25, I have Digital Essence by Mairosa. This level has pretty fun gameplay, pretty good deco. There's like some unique orb skipping gameplay throughout. There's a 2-player part, but it's pretty easy to pull off by yourself. I just did it with like spacebar and up arrow. The song goes very well with the theme, and I also like the song. I mean, it's made by one of my favorite artists, so of course I'm going to. And there's also 2 modes, kind of like with Change of Scene, which is coming up by the way. At number 24, I have Eru by Jonathan GD. This is probably the most forgettable Jonathan level for me, because the rest of his levels are like super memorable. It still looks great though, even though I beat it on LDM. Like, I have seen the full detail version, and I do like the way it looks. The gameplay before the drop is kind of boring in my opinion. It's just slow. But the music sync still is really good throughout. The randomized ship/UFO part, it's pretty easy to read. And the gameplay after the drop is a lot of fun, and there aren't really that many choke points except the 64 ship, but that's just me being bad at ship, I think. At number 23, I have Bad Ending by Mafaka. The deco in this level is super cool, and it just looks very clean and polished. The gameplay is kind of hard to learn, but once you get the hang of it a little bit, it's pretty fun. The duels are super satisfying to pull off as well. The dual ship from 64 to 70 is a bit of a choke point, and it's kind of hard dual ship gameplay for medium demon, but it gets consistent once you get the hang of it. One deco part I love is like the wiggling white outline from 86 to 90. That's just such a nice touch. I do think this level should be an easy demon. It really didn't take me very long, even though it's learny, but I guess probably the dual ship brings it to a medium demon. And then also the best part of this level is that it uses the new best duel bug where you can die past 100%. So you basically die at 101% and then it restarts, but it still counts as a completion. I just think that's so cool that that bug was used in an actual rated level. At number 22, I have Dear Nostalgis by Triaxis. This is a good layout level, despite what people say about, layout levels and like, oh, you just didn't want to decorate your layout. I think Triaxis did a pretty good job with this. It deserves to be rated. The gameplay can be a bit buggy, but it's pretty easy to avoid the bugs if you just time things correctly. I like that this level uses 2.0 features well while still keeping the 1.0 style, like moving objects and things like that. The ship parts are a bit tougher than the rest of the level, so it's like a little bit unbalanced, but I still really like the gameplay. I will say there are stretches of like kind of boring gameplay, especially that staircase down from 70 to 80, but the rest of the gameplay is super fun and the music sync is great. At number 21, I have Forest Temple by Michigan. This is probably the best temple level he's made. I haven't played his other ones, so I don't really know, but it's for sure the best looking. The gameplay is fun, and it does get pretty consistent after a while. The deco is simplistic, of course, but it still looks great, in my opinion. The beginning and the ship at 24 are way harder than the rest, especially if you're on 60 Hz, which I was when I completed this. But I just love how every part is memorable and different from each other. Every part sticks out from the rest, and they're all good. And I like that it keeps the forest theme alive with kind of dark parts and also constricted corridors, as if you're kind of walking through a forbidden enchanted forest. Another downside is that there's minimal music sync, but the song is pretty good. It's not my favorite Waterflame song, but I like it still. At number 20, I have Degenerate by Darwin. This is a pretty good starter demon with some stunning visual effects. It's pretty well balanced. The level and song definitely go hand in hand with this one. It feels like the song was made for this level. There's lots of gravity portal ship gameplay, which can kind of be hard for beginners to navigate, but I think it's still good for a first demon. And I also really like the buffer timing gameplay from 64 to the end. It can be kind of annoying to go through sometimes, but it's just very unique. And I think the very ending, those last few jumps, is definitely the best part visually. At number 19, I have Deadlocked. I don't like this level as much as I used to, but I still really like it. There's some transitions in there that are really inconsistent, especially that mini wave into the memory ship section transition. It is infamous for being super inconsistent. And also the 72 dual wave is a huge choke point. I think the first wave at 13 or wherever it is fine, but when you have to spam through that dual wave, it's just really annoying. And I think it's easy to die to the moving platforms UFO at the end too. The first coin is really annoying, just having to go up a little extra for that key is ugh, it's just really annoying if you miss it, and it's not very satisfying to pull off. But the rest of the level is really fun and unique, and it looks great for the time. At number 18, I have Vogue by Presta. You all might be surprised to see this level so high up because I made this video a while back where I basically just bashed my experience with it. But that doesn't mean it's a bad level. I think the reason I had a bad experience is that it targets two things that I'm bad at, which is micro-clicking and slow ship gameplay. And also the ending is just really hard to get consistent, and I died there a few times. But the rest of the gameplay is so much fun, and the deco is amazing. The song is great. Again, it feels like the song was kind of made for this level, and the music sync is great. I'd say the stretch of gameplay from 20 to 40 is my favorite part, and I like the rest of it, it's just hard for me. At number 17, I have 9 Circles by Zobros. So I already did a video reviewing this level, but I'm gonna talk about it still. It's got very consistent gameplay, unlike Jawbreaker and Problematic. I also really like the ship. It definitely feels skill-based, rather than just straight flying like the Jawbreaker ship. Again, there aren't really any specific choke points in the wave. The ending is a little bit evil, but it definitely feels like a good challenge, especially for someone just getting into hard demons. And honestly, it's just too iconic for me to rank it lower. At number 16, I have X by Triaxis. I don't really know how this ended up at number 16, because I did kind of forget about this level, but it's just got such fun gameplay that's not really buggy. and it's balanced great. And I like the deco, it's good for the time, and it kind of follows like a tech theme. And I also like how this level uses breakable blocks, which after 1.6 is pretty rare. The gameplay is a little bit inaccessible for beginners. I did practice this like back when TOE 2 was my hardest, and I was like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna be able to beat this, but it is still a good like mid-range easy demon for people to try. At number 15, I have Insanity by Serpunge. So this is the hardest medium demon I've played. It's honestly harder than Temple of Time in my opinion. Maybe it's just because I struggled way more with it, so maybe it should be a hard demon, I don't know. But it's got great visuals for the time, great deco. I like the song. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is kind of what brought Megan Echo into the spotlight in the GD community. I love like the chainsaw theme. This level focuses on wave and UFO gravity portal gameplay, which are two things I'm not that great at, but it is fun to pull off once you get it. The ending is super nerve-wracking, but it's a great challenge for like more beginner players. At number 14, I have Acropolis by Zobros. So this is my current hardest, and it's also the hardest level I'm ever gonna beat on 60 Hz. I was never too frustrated with this level, even though it's so difficult. The gameplay is really fun for only being at 0.5 speed the entire time. The first cube obviously is infamously way harder than the rest, but it's honestly kind of in a way that feels fair. It doesn't feel like the problematic first cube. I don't know how to explain it, it just feels a lot more fair. And I also like how it kind of experiments with different ship and ball gameplay. Like there's the control ship part, and then there's the holding and releasing ship part. There's the ball gameplay where you go through corridors, and then there's the ball with the orbs. The second cube at 33 is really creative too, where you kind of have to avoid those like spike clusters. The deco looks great for 1.9. It's honestly one of the best looking 1.9 levels I've seen. The theming is incredible. It's like a claustrophobic dungeon theme, and the song fits with the theme incredibly. And the song, Final Battle, it's just an artistic masterpiece, and it's the best song out of any demon I've ever beaten. At number 13, I have Save As by Pac. This level, it's not as good as I remember, but it's still an incredible level. And mostly because the gameplay is kind of crap. It's very slow and boring. You definitely wouldn't enjoy playing the layout of this, but that's also not the point of this level. It's not really meant to be like a fun level, it's just meant to send a message, to make people feel things, which is why it's so good. There's some gameplay parts that are buggy even on 60 Hz, especially after the halfway break. There was some times where I would just like randomly die and it was frustrating. But of course the deco and theming are amazing. It's probably going to be the best themed level ever, just forever. At number 12, I have Jam Factory by Jam Attack. I already reviewed this level in a video, but I would say I kind of criticized it a bit heavily in that video. The gameplay is super fun and balanced, but that one moving orb at 17 is a big choke point. I'm never going to change my mind on that. And there's like some variation in the deco, but the theming definitely ties together. It doesn't feel like a mega collab or random parts put together. This is definitely an easier demon than Insanity, but it's still pretty up there in terms of medium demons. But it's still a fun level to go for. At number 11, I have Acid Rush 3 by Serpunge. This is a great mecha collab level, a perfect example of a good mecha collab. The gameplay is learny, but it's a lot of fun once you get it. I'd say the ending though, the ending is annoying to figure out. I died there twice from 0 because I was too stubborn to learn it. Yeah, I learned my lesson for sure. The parts flow together really well. There are kind of a few that stick out, like the cube at 50 or wherever that is. It was definitely harder than the rest. But the deco is great throughout. There's definitely an established theme that the creator stuck to, and you know, they might have like looked at each other's parts before putting them together. This is also a pretty good first hard demon if you want to do like an XL. I had a lot of fun with it, for sure. At number 10, I have Death Step 3 by Rehands. This is an amazingly decorated epic level. The gameplay is fun and challenging, and it's pretty intuitive to learn even though it's super fast-paced. Everything flows together really well. The deco kind of changes when the song changes. I really enjoy the Halloween theme, and the song is very Halloween-y as well. And the last dark part with the flashlight is also really cool. At number 9, I have Decode by Wreck Edge. Once again, this is still my favorite 1.9 level. The deco differs throughout, but it definitely does stick to a theme. It flows together really nicely. And the gameplay also flows together really nicely, and I don't remember any specific choke points, although it has been a really long time since I beat this. The slow wave isn't that hard. I think the ship after the slow wave is a lot harder. The song is great. It's by Waterflame, my favorite musician ever. And honestly, this level does have some of the best gameplay I've seen in 1.9. At number 8, I have Future Funk by Jonathan GD. This is just a good level all around. The gameplay is really good. There are some choke points and inconsistencies, but it's overall pretty consistent. Also, I just want to say that the ending orbs are really not that bad. If you die there like a million times, you just have a skill issue. Even though, you know, they were nerfed, I'm pretty sure, but it's not that bad, okay? The full detail looks amazing. Even LDM has its moments of looking amazing. The duel, I'd say, is the most fun part. I really like Jonathan's duels, and I also really like the ending, even though it's hard. It's got a great song, and each part definitely goes to the song very well. At number 7, I have Change of Scene by Bly. Literally everyone knows this level. It was voted best level of all time in the 10-year anniversary video. So it's obviously not the best level of all time, because it would be a number 1 if it was, but it's pretty close. This level's got a great atmosphere, and it's also very well optimized. I played it on LDM and no lag, but I probably could have played it with full detail if I'm being honest. And the LDM, of course, it still looks amazing, and there aren't any parts that look empty. There's great sync gameplay at some parts, and it's got a great song too, a classical remix, and it definitely fits very well with the level. And also, I just want to say the backwards part is so cool. Like, I don't know how Bly did that, but oh my god. At number 6, I have Well Rested by CometFace/Overdefo. Why did you change your name? Anyway, I already reviewed this level a long time ago, but I want to say more about it. It's all around just an amazing level. The deco is amazing, gameplay is amazing, and the song is great. There are some gameplay slowdowns, but that is kind of to be expected with a level that's longer than 7 minutes. And the deco looks incredible, even with LDM, which I had to play on because my computer sucks. Each part fits with the song perfectly, and it does, again, kind of feel like the song was just made for the level. One thing I really like about this is that there's like a square aspect ratio for the entire first half, and then once the song hits like the drop, it just opens up, and it's like a whoa moment. And then I like how when the song and the level kind of settle down, it goes back to the square at like 81. My one gripe with this level is that it really should be a medium demon, especially because it's so long, and like the gameplay is not free, you know, but you know, I'm not gonna dock points off for that reason. At number 5, I have Dance Massacre by Heinz. I still love this level even after, you know, going back to it. It's just a really fun level and it looks amazing. It's got pretty creative gameplay and it's very varied also, and it does get pretty consistent. I like how this level tests every skill set very well. It's not like carried by one game mode. The 48 to 53 UFO is pretty janky and inconsistent, but apart from that, the gameplay flows really well and it's super fun. And it also looks really good for the time. Heinz is just very good at everything all around. At number 4, I have Red Dart by 4 Chairs. This is a criminally underrated level. This level has some of the most fun wave gameplay I've ever seen in this entire game. The duels are really creative and consistent, and the deco looks great. It sticks well to like the red tech theme, and the song is also a banger, and it uses the best part of the song. I've listened to the whole song, and after the level it's kind of mid, but dang, it's just so good. The spam parts are kind of inconsistent, and the last gimmick is hard to learn, but those are really the only 2 bad parts about this level. Once you get it, it's extremely enjoyable. People complain about the last gimmick, but it's really not that inconsistent. It's really consistent once you get it. I am kind of biased because Wave is my favorite game mode, but I'm still gonna put this at number 4. This is my list. At number 3, I have Nintendo by M. Fernando. This is the best mega collab in the game in my opinion. It's got really fun gameplay, the parts flow together really well. The animations in deco are incredible, especially for the time. This is kind of an old level, it's like 4 or 5 years old. The low detail mode does have some missing links, like it's missing the entire Simpsons animation at 80%, but it does still look great. There's some parts that are harder to learn than others, but the gameplay is relatively balanced overall. And this is also a really good nerve test. It's good to do as like a first XXL if like beginners who have a few easy demons under their belt are looking for that. Yeah, it's a good first medium if you want to challenge yourself. There's not too many gameplay slowdowns either, which I really like because it is a pretty long level. It's over 5 minutes. It is kind of object heavy. I think it has like 300,000 objects, but for the amount of detail that's in this level, it's pretty well optimized. At number 2, I have Magma Bound by Scorch VX. This is just overall a near perfect level. The deco and theming are great, especially for the time. Again, this level is like 4 or something years old. The song is a banger, and it fits well with like the craziness of the level, especially at the end when you get the animation of that monster. The gameplay is really fun and it uses a lot of different mechanics, like holding to avoid orbs again. You don't really see that on a lot of levels. The only bad thing I'd say is that the robot jumps at 35, 82, and 87 are choke points. I died there a lot, except at 87 I did fluke that. But those are really the only reason this isn't number one. But hot take, the spider parts are incredible and probably the best spider gameplay I've ever seen. It's just overall such a good level, and if I had to go through the experience of beating it again, I would. At number one, I have B by Motley Orc. After a year, this is still a number one, still my favorite level. I kind of forgot about this, but this level did kind of pioneer the modern style, which is obviously super popular nowadays still. Also, I can't believe the same person made my two favorite demons. Scorch is just on another level. This is a great challenge for a first medium demon. It is kind of easy for a medium demon, it could be an easy demon, honestly. I think Vogue is harder, for example, and Well Rested is definitely harder, but I like that it's staying a medium demon and people are challenging themselves to beat it. The robot gameplay is probably some of the best out there. The 4x ball is super duper fun. I think that's still my favorite part of the level, to be honest. The gameplay does have its flaws, like those random slopes that kind of throw you up into spikes and you just have to buffer everything, but the rest of the gameplay is just perfect. The ending is hard, but it does feel fair, and the deco is of course amazing, and it's super cute, which is right up my alley. And yeah, I honestly don't know if a level is ever gonna be better than this. I'm super happy with this being my favorite level. Okay, that was a long one, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I just want to say thank you for getting me to where I am now and all the support. I'm really happy to have hit 500 subscribers before my 1 year anniversary, and I can't believe I'm over halfway to 1K now. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I don't really want to get too sappy in this video, but yeah, I just want to say how much it means to me. That's gonna be it for today, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.